What's up, guys? Today is day 171 on our journey to 2000, and I just want to say that studying chess is super fun, and it's actually more fun than playing games right now, just trying to understand different things. So I'm going to show you guys what I've been studying today, which is this. I've been studying the Pirc defense. I said I wasn't going to try to memorize lines, but it's actually really fun to memorize lines because you also get some sort of understanding of why each move is made. And this is on chessable.com, and it's a free course. You guys could check it out on Chessable. I'm not sponsored or anything, but it's just really cool. And it gives you an explanation for each move. Then you could kind of play through it. So this is how the Pirc usually happens. Sometimes people will do this early center push, this early e4 push, where they push. And the guy explains different things you can do, but he likes actually just bringing the knight to d7, kind of counterattacking these two spots, and very quickly going for a c5 push. Like, this opening is so interesting. Here we actually don't have to recapture because it opens up our king. Instead, we castle. If we take, we just take back with the queen. Let's say they go, and I'm not saying I understand all these lines completely and I'll understand other moves people will make, but I'm getting there. I'm starting to understand the opening ideas better. Like, I'm having a bigger appreciation for learning the openings of in detail, especially if you try to understand it. Here you take back the pawn. This is a very common idea to put pressure over here and trade bishops. Here we continue putting pressure on the d4 pawn, I believe. Going knight c6. If he castles, you have, this is a very common move in the Pirc, going queen a5 from my understanding. When he castles, just to put pressure there. We have a lot of stuff here. And then here, there's like different moves that can be made, not necessarily the best moves, but solid moves are recommended and stuff. By the way, in 10-minute games, I think this is too crazy even to remember everything. I think 15-minute games are more useful for stuff like this. Anyway, you open up the bishop, develop the bishop, and here instead of taking back, you stack a pawn, and he says the pawn push initiates fun complications. And I looked at all of this with an engine, all of these different openings, and yeah, they're pretty much fine. Maybe they put black at a small disadvantage, but it's so interesting trying to understand this stuff. By the way, I wouldn't recommend this to beginners. I don't even know if I would recommend this to myself in like a year or a few months from now, because this is meaning like at my level now, I don't even know if this is good to learn, but it's really cool and fun. Anyway, he shows that after takes, you have this knight move. He can't take because that's mate in the back rank, I think. Takes, and the knight gets in, and it says black has excellent play and a dangerous initiative. So very interesting. So if you like aggressive, well, I guess it's not necessarily aggressive in the beginning, but crazy play, you can check this out. This is the same opening or the same response. But in this case, he develops the knight. We still go for this c5 push just to counterattack very quickly. In this case, if he takes this pawn instead of this pawn, the idea is to ruin the center pawn structure of our opponent. Castle. If he pushes, we get ours ruined, but we have this open file for our rook, and the computer, or not the computer, the guy explains that we can take on c5 next, develop knight c6 normally, go queen b6, and I actually really like this position because I like open positions, I think, more than closed positions. Here it shows what would happen if we're, by the way, let me know if you guys enjoy seeing this or not. It's not like I'm going to do this all the time, but I just thought it was really cool because I studied some of these before, but today I went down and like finished studying all the Austrian attack counters in this course, in this free course. There's a paid course too, but I'm not buying it. The bishop coming here, they like fianchettoing the bishop and putting pressure here and going again for a c5 push. Attacking the center, you bring the knight forward, attacking the bishop. If he castles, our queen can't go there, obviously, but we can counterattack in the center, take back. And again, I think we're giving up a pawn here. But the idea is that we're doing this. Take back the pawn. He doesn't take back because of this pin, I believe. Although the knight can come forward. I don't know. I don't remember. You see, this is what I mean by I don't have all the knowledge yet. I'm just trying to memorize right now. to get a general idea of stuff. Trade queens, trade these pieces, fork. He doesn't come back here. I remember looking at the reason why the rook doesn't attack the knight. I can't recall at the moment. I think bishop h6. So this move works regardless, because you could pin the rook to the king a little later on, possibly. And then it says after this, this. It is still interesting. White has no advantage. Non-symmetrical majorities are always spicing the game up, even in the endgame. Okay. I'll show you guys the last few a little quickly. Here it's the same idea. We're going to fianchetto, but this is an earlier attack. We come here. He doesn't want his bishop taken, so he comes back. You know, if the queen comes forward, would we take the bishop? I don't think so, actually. I think we would wait to get kicked out and then take the bishop, by the way. But anyway, that's what happens, and then we go for this attack. You see our knight's getting attacked. We can't take a bishop, so we fall back. He closes this off. Target it. We develop our knight. We go for this push, and we just trade a bunch of stuff. And then we have a lot of pressure. Black is somewhat better in our view. We can penetrate a1 with our queen. Penetrate. And white's d5 pawn is weak. White's position is overextended and tough to play. So this is what they're saying. I think a lot of this analysis is beyond my level, by the way. Okay, here we have this attack. We saw that knight coming back to d7 is common, but that was when they didn't have their knight on f3. So instead here we just take. And the idea here is now we can come to d5. If he takes, we take back with the queen, and there is no... the game continues. If he develops, you take. And unfortunately, you don't have the knight defending the king, but now he has this doubled pawns, and we're going to try to break this structure right away again. c5, very common move. See, this would be tripled pawns, which is crazy. Material, I guess, doesn't matter as much in these types of things. Now here we have to be careful of this attack. So because of that, we develop the bishop. If it gets kicked, we take. He brings another defender. We bring another attacker. We take. And I think he doesn't take with the queen here because there's one less defender of the d4 pawn. Here we bring the queen. We're targeting this. And stuff. He brings the bishop back. So this doesn't come with an attack. Oh, no. So the rook could defend it. Jesus. Okay. And then I think we bring our rook to d8. Yeah, just to put even more pressure on the d4. We have nice pressure on white's center, especially d4. We don't have any weaknesses. White's pawn structure is shattered, so this is the understanding here. There's only 3 more, and then we'll go into a game. I'm going to play a 15-minute game today, just in case we get into the Pirc, and I want to think about the position. So here the bishop move is played instead of the other bishop move, the light squared bishop, and here we don't actually fianchetto. I think the idea here was to go straight for the... You see, I forgot. Yeah. To just develop the knight normally, and then after this attack, we take. Basically, this bishop is very annoying and strong, I think, because it goes towards our king, and so we take because we don't want more pawns towards our position. I don't know. He has the explanations there. I'm still learning this. I haven't really played games after learning these. So here our knight gets attacked. And apparently people get into a lot of trouble here as black because they don't play this knight h5 move. So they might play knight g4, gets attacked, and then there's this big push, I think was the idea. But knight h5 kind of fixes stuff. Here we pin the knight to the queen. And then we try to get rid of this annoying e5 pawn. If he takes, we take back just for the pawn structure. That's what the guy was saying. We attack this bishop. He defends. And then we reroute our knight. He might come in with a check. We reroute our knight. So now, you see, because I made a mistake, it's showing me kind of where that mistake was and what I should do. So here I think I went c5, where in fact I should have, I think because he could attack me and gets messy, I should have gone knight c6. Right? So it's going to show it over and over until it goes in my brain. And then it explains some ideas, it says some stuff, and then it goes into the variation if our knight gets attacked there. which I'll show you guys right here. So again, develop the knight. What if the knight gets attacked? We attack the bishop. He doesn't want to lose this bishop. This is, you know, he wants to keep the bishop pair. And then right away, we try to break through the center. C5 doesn't make as much sense because his pawn is not on D4 anymore. It's on D5. He attacks, but here we can just come here, and doubling our pawns is okay here. We have the bishop pair. We have the space for our rook. And also, you know, we kind of ruin stuff here. So the idea here, I think this puts black at an advantage. I think because the king can't castle, I think black e8 was the move. And try to break through and attack. And then the last one here. You see how quick I could do this? Because, yeah, anyway, because I'm a genius. Bishop comes back here. We develop the knight again. Instead of attacking, he castles. This is a very scary position. That's why we have to attack straight in the center ourselves. We trade. And now we calculated if he took here, then we could actually... We could... I think... Whatever, I'll show you guys later. Maybe. Here he said knight d4 I think was okay, but he prefers knight e7. And now we lose this pawn. But we counterattack, and this looks very scary. It looks very stupid what we're doing. But we don't actually lose this piece because we come in with this tactical trick, checking, and winning the piece back. Now he comes in with this fork. So we got to get rid of that. And then he comes in with this attack, trying to get us, you know, we have three things hanging. So first, we have to protect our queen. And then second, you know, we just push the bishop back so it's safe. When the queen comes here trying to threaten stuff, we go b6 because the bishop is pretty useless on this diagonal, and we move it to b7. So, okay, it's not like every game I have is going to turn into these types of situations. It's not like memorizing is a great... I usually don't like memorizing for the sake of memorizing. I mean, I already said this. You guys get the point. Okay. I'm going to analyze these positions a lot more and try my own moves that I feel like people would make to see how things would turn out. So, let's play a game. Okay, so we're versing a 1593 rated player, and we're playing as white. So, we can't even use anything I just talked about, but that's okay. Okay, it goes for the Karo Khan. We're going to go with the fantasy variation and try to do our little trick. Okay, so he takes... I think we just take back here. Okay, and this is where I'm going to spend some time thinking. He goes for c5, which just looks really weird and wrong to me. I can't explain exactly why, it just looks wrong. Well, maybe because I see d5. I see checking. That's pretty much the reasons. Taking looks bad. Is this overextending our pieces? Maybe not, because we have c4, knight c3, and it looks like our pawn structure is we're taking a lot of space. It looks good. I don't know. Let's see. If we check here, he could block. Then we can attack. That would be actually nice for us. If we check here, he could block with the bishop. He blocks with the bishop. We could take. He could take. Then we could push forward, maybe. He could block with the bishop. We take. The queen takes back. And we push forward. So these are some ideas. We always have to be careful of some sort of attack here, too. Now, I don't think this move is the best move, to be honest. I think c3 is better. But then our knight can't really move much. I want our knight to go to c3. So let's try this and see what happens. Okay, so he protects with the bishop. I think we were saying takes, and push if he does that. Another move I see now is just developing our knight. That way if he takes, we take. But of course he could check. We could attack, he could take. I feel like there's a trick we missed, but maybe not. I think we're just going to take. If he takes with the knight, we'll possibly take the pawn, possibly just push this pawn forward. If he takes with the queen, we'll probably just push the pawn forward. I think this is fine. Okay, so he develops the knight. This makes a lot more sense. And here, actually, now that I think about it, this push allows his knight to come here. Maybe c3 was better. Then it opens up his rook. I don't think the bishop check was that good. We could also come knight f3, which might have been the best move earlier. That way, if he takes, we take with the knight. Or we go c3. I don't know. This is hard to decide. I mean, I did say I want to go d5, but now that I'm looking at the position and I see knight e5, I don't like this move. But what's after knight e5? He could get into he could get into c4. And we just kick it out. Yeah, let's just push. Let's see what happens. We'll learn regardless. Now, of course, this doesn't mean he can go knight f6, so now I'm thinking it's really not a great move, but if we could get c4, maybe it's okay. If he goes c4 right now himself, then maybe I should have thought more about this position. Maybe queen d4 to attack the pawn back. Of course, we still have to be careful over here on this diagonal. Actually, now that I think of it, opening up the diagonal for him might be a really good move. But then we just go knight f3, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you see? Opening up the diagonal. But then I think we go knight f3 and we're fine. I do feel like I overextended though, and that c4 is gonna be a risky area. Just the queen side is gonna be a little weird. Wonder if he'll go knight f6, attacking the pawn. Hey, he just develops. Bishop here, pawn forward, and then our knight's in the way to give a check. Pretty brutal check, maybe. If we go on with our plan, he's gonna develop this here, maybe. We can castle, he can come here. He might also want to play f5, but then I feel like the knight on f6 makes more sense. Maybe we can fianchetto our bishop long term, put pressure on the e5 square, and try to open up this diagonal to attack his king. Now I'm thinking c4. Well, which is what I was thinking before. If he goes f5, we go knight c3 maybe. Let's see what happens. Maybe we should castle so knight c3 is more doable, but I mean, I guess queen a5 still attacks, so never mind. Just realized queen a4 might be a way to target the king too. Okay, so he's going for this fianchettoed idea, and it's a little weird. I think now we're just winning. I'm really curious what the computer says, but I think now we're just winning. I think castling probably to go knight c3, knight b5 if possible, threatening a push and then a fork. That looks really nice. So if we go knight c5 now, he could pin us. Of course, we could just castle afterwards and then maybe bring the bishop here. Or no, yeah. Knight c5 pins us, castle, bishop, knight here, threatening the fork. He castles. No, he doesn't castle because the bishop is attacking him. So here, here. No. Here, 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 with a discovered attack. He's forced backwards. Wait, we can force the knight backwards right now. Not sure. I think castling should... Let's just go with this. Happens. Oh yeah, I was scared of d6 because after the knight moves, he has more eyes here, and the queen doesn't have enough attacks. So he might go a6 now. I think that would be clever. If he doesn't go a6, I think it might be a little dangerous. Okay, so this was his plan. I think we could still go knight b5. He takes. I mean, this looks so crazy. We have bishop g5. Pinning the knight. If he takes, we attack. He's gonna lose the knight. He takes. We take, he takes, we take, he takes. We take with the queen. I think castling might be good. Takes, pin, takes, takes. And I think sacking a piece is just insane. I actually think that's insane. Now, what if we continue with this plan coming here? This doesn't feel as strong anymore, but this is a... this does threaten a mate. Now, if we come here and the queen checks us, the bishop attacks. He goes back somewhere like here. Then we castle, let him take. Bring the bishop, or push the pawn. I don't know. Yeah, then push the pawn, I think. Oh yeah, there's so many tricks. I think castling or knight b5 is definitely the move here. Castle takes, knight takes, queen takes. Now what if we come here and he takes? Again, this is a mate threat. Seems like mate threats are probably good to do. He could go bishop g7. Then the king can't castle. And then we have d6. Yeah, I think knight b5 made more sense. Now, I think maybe his best move is to check. Now that I think of it, I didn't consider a knight move. If knight goes c8, I think we could push the pawn, because takes, 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 and we're up material. Takes, 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 check, here, trade, and now we're just up a piece. Unless there's another better line or something, I don't know. I mean, there are lines where he can, like, maybe move the knight here. But then the king's... Oh, well, we can't check because the queen takes. Okay, so he does the same move, but he doesn't activate my bishop. I guess that makes sense. We could bring the pawn to threaten this. We could also bring our bishop here. But that makes no sense. He just takes the bishop. I think now castling makes sense. Bishop here. Now he could check. Maybe we just move our king somewhere. I think castling is good. Takes. You could take with the knight. I'd rather not take, to be honest. I don't know, it just doesn't look good. Like, castle, take, bishop. If he takes, we take with the queen. I mean, I guess he could castle. No, he can't, because the bishop would stop him. So, castle, take, bishop, take, queen. Yeah, his knights are still there. He could castle. So this doesn't make sense. Castle takes, knight here. With ideas of coming here, maybe? And coming here. Now, what if we just move the knight there right away? Then if he takes, we castle and our rook is activated. Or our knight comes here, stopping him from castling. So here, castle. If he castles there, we come here, attacking the rook. And then maybe trapping the rook. I think maybe the knight move is the best now that But we're not activating any other pieces. Let's do it. I like it. I just realized he could go bishop h6, but I don't think that's a problem. I mean, it's a little annoying, but we're going to stop him from castling, so it should be. Also realized after the pawn takes, we can't go queen f3. He just takes our queen. But maybe our knight can come back and come here, give a check. Here. I don't know, it's tricky. He might be able to simplify if he goes bishop h6 too. There's also knight f7 actually. Because if he castles, we could fork the rooks, which I didn't see. So I think bishop h6 is a good contender of a move. Also maybe a4, a5 is good with the pawn. To force the knight off of the queen off of that diagonal. So now I'm thinking a4, a5 might be a move. That looks interesting. He's obviously trying to put more pressure here, but let's say I go a4. What's the idea behind this move? Rook d8. We can come here. He takes. We castle. We could also just wait for his castling. I don't know, I want to castle here, but I feel like it's wrong. I feel like we're moving this knight around way too much. I mean, this does threaten this, which wins a rook. But does he get compensation or whatever? I don't think so. Try it. Also, I didn't like the fact that the bishop was looking like that. Now our bishop could go to g5 potentially. But then again, no. He just takes the pawn. What a crazy game. He's playing very defensively. I think now we can go a4. We might also just take. Or we might castle. Yeah, I think castle. Because if he takes, we take, and we have eyes on the queen. I think castling is good. And then we'll go for a4, a5. Because we are running a little bit low on time. Then oh my god. Wait, he has a6. Whoa. Can we sack? I was going to say boom, boom, boom. But this doesn't work because of the knight. And then maybe queen comes here. I don't know. I want to just do this. If this, we come here. We actually trap the queen, maybe? Very interesting move is sacking the knight here. Yeah. If I take with the pawn, he has a discovered attack, check, but I could just take with the queen, and then it's not interesting anymore. So here, I think a6 is losing. Yeah, because now we come here. If he goes here, we take. 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 So we're just going to do this move. And it doesn't look like he has any counterattacks. I mean, this looks like something, but we just take. And that opens up lines for us, which we want. Like, this is beautiful. Wow, what a fascinating game. Honestly, 15-minute games are really cool, and I could just cut it down for you guys, you know? So, let me know if you prefer this. They might not make a difference for when you watch, but yeah. Playing it's more interesting. I have more time to think, I feel like. He might resign here. Oh, he'd like to chat. Well played. Thanks. It was an interesting game. Well played to you as well. Aw, that's so nice, bro. What a nice guy. And he said thanks. Ah, he did resign. Okay. So let's game review. There might have been a billion mistakes, but I thought I played it really well. Oh my god. Wait, guys, look at this. 91.4% accuracy. I had one inaccurate move. Everything else was good or better. Beautiful. Okay, and my opponent also played well. He had 2 mistakes, 2 inaccuracies. Everything else was fine. So I actually just outplayed him. Like, the line shows that I just... Here, let me show you guys. See? The white bar. Like... Still super interesting. Okay, let's go over it. Yeah, you see, I knew this move looked super weird. I didn't know what the hell to do here. And this was the one inaccurate move I had. Wow. That's hilarious. I'm really curious. Is it c3 that they want? Or oh, wow. Okay, so they did want me to push the pawn. And we mentioned this also in the beginning. Super interesting. Then I played all the best moves. Wow, look at that. Look at that. My understanding of the position was literally beautiful. And I'm guessing he had to... Yes! Yes, he had to go c4. Because now I don't have c4. And this pawn is going to be much more useless in the position. If, for example, I go knight c3, this is fine, I'm guessing. But now, like, I don't know, he puts pressure, he does whatever. And this pawn is useless. And this is actually kind of annoying, and maybe he pushes with this. So I actually understood the position, the dynamics of the position correctly. But yeah, this knight move, I mean, I wasn't sure. I considered this in my head, but if you guys remember, I was thinking of castling here, which apparently was the second or third move of the engine. And then I ultimately went with b5. So after b5, he moved the queen. I moved the knight. Really? Pushing the pawn works here? Ah, because then I have the pawn in a perfect area for this move. Now, even here, to be honest, taking I didn't think was necessarily the best. And I might have been right. Could have checked here. And even, oh my god, this looks insane. So yeah, I guess my opponent just got outplayed. Because, bro, the fantasy variation is crazy. So, let's say I moved my knight into the position. Yeah, okay, so taking the pawn was better. I still thought I played this really well. And then here, his best move was probably something. I mean, computer says d8, in which case I would take. Let's say takes. I have this even. I have this. Yeah, this looks really bad. Really bad. Oh, that loses my advantage. Not that I would play it. I would have time to think, but... e6. What a crazy, crazy, crazy game. Well... I hope you guys enjoyed, because I know I did. Look at that. And if you watched this far, say 15 in the comments. We said 14 once before, but 15 for 15-minute games. Thanks for watching, and have a great one. Bye-bye.